Yeah, I don't know how to start these things, so we're just gonna not say anything to start. I just wanted to thank everybody, first and foremost, thank everybody that subscribed and watched my first video. I really appreciate that. So this video is going to be two things. I'm going to do an overview of the little mods I've done to the CL, since a few people have asked me about it. And I'm going to tell you guys a story of stealing a car from a dealership. Yeah, let's get started. First and foremost, this is my daily driver. The first thing that I did immediately when getting the car was swapping the shift knob to this nice weighted full steel shift knob. Love it. I also put in floor lights, which Acura CLs did not come with. It's just an LED strip that's hooked up through the door switch, so it turns on and off with the door switch. Pretty cool. Then, of course, under the hood, we got some other shit going on. Quite a few things, actually. So here's the beastie. That is an intake off a TL SH all-wheel drive, a 2013. I got this plate from the junkyard. I had to order the intake from a dealership, so there's some money put into this. And of course I got a throttle body adapter for the J series to hook up to the 3.7 throttle body. Nice, of course, butthurt for the sticker on there. An AEM cold air intake that goes all the way down into there. And we got a Morimoto projector set up on here because this headlight's original ballast just stopped working. What other modifications are under the hood here? Nothing really. Oh, I got a nice battery line for my amp setup in the trunk. This is the only sketchy bit right here because it kind of touches the bracket, and that's power. But it's a 0 gauge right here because I had this is out of my old car, my Volkswagen Golf, where I had a little 8-inch subwoofer in the trunk. So I just recycled this into here. It's a 150 amp breaker, so nice and safe. And then this is like 2 gauge wire. No, not too big, but I'm only running 1,000 watt for my speakers. One other thing I can't forget, the Megan Racing adjustable coilovers, and then I got adjustable upper control arms in the front and adjustable upper control arms in the rear, so that I can get all that stupid camber in the back that I'm too lazy to take out. I took out my 1-inch spacers back here. I left them in the front, which I can actually get to right now. It's because I have an Acura RL brake rotor swap, which I need to get 18-inch wheels because these are 17s, and these calipers keep knocking off the wheel weights, even though I have 1-inch and then a 5/16 spacer in there. But yeah, that's it for the front, and the front is just straight on for traction. I guess there might be like 1 degree of camber in the front, and then the rear is just ignorant because I wanted to be a low boy, which I'm not even, and there's plenty of room in there. There's a slight roll that I put on these rear fenders, and not much else. But yeah, I took the 1-inch spacers out, so it looks stupid right now. I just didn't want to fix it yet. And then of course, party mode. My party mode switch is down here. Yep, that's what you're looking at. The most jankiest setup I could imagine. I actually scraped the bottom off of the motor, so sometimes it doesn't work, but that's fine. I want to go to a vacuum operated setup anyways, just so I don't have to have a stupid electric motor because it sounds weird. And then the trunk, besides all the tools back here, so this car does come with a factory amplifier setup, which I didn't know about when I first got it, but I was super happy because that means I don't have to wire anything from the back of the trunk. But yeah, I got 1,000 watt just sitting back here, kind of sketchy. I really should go back and put actual connectors on this, but it hasn't failed me yet. It's been in the car for over a year. And then I also have the wire going down for the remote operated yeah, I was just kind of lazy back here. It is what it is. Oh, it's a 1200 watt. It's a piece of shit. It's a boss. Don't want to spend big bucks on big shit for stock speakers. But the original 400 watt amplifier was not cutting it. Especially because I did put upgraded 6x9s in the back here. I don't even know what brand they are. I think they're just shitty bosses as well. Oh well. And then back onto that, I did install a rear view camera, which is really nice, really handy, so I don't smash my bumper into things. And then I bought a cheap double din from AutoZone, which it is what it is. It works. It's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. That's why I bought it. It was like 200 bucks. And then I also have a module hooked up so that my steering wheel controls work, and I can set those to whatever I want. Is there any other modifications in here? It's basically style. Oh, that's right. The want box that sits right behind this carpet here. I would pull it back, but I don't feel like it. But it's back there. I'll show you the wiring under here. It's pretty simple. You got some wiring right there where I cut into the that's the ignition coil signal wire, and then a bunch of other stuff up here like those 3 wires. Yeah, so it's all hooked up. It's nice and neat. There's no wires in the engine bay, which is really important to me because I like a nice clean look in there. Anything underneath the dash I don't really care about. But yeah, that's what I got as far as modifications done to the CL. Nothing much, nothing fancy. Simple stuff. Definitely supporting mods for making more power, but the only way I'm going to make more power is if I spend a lot more money, and it's just not worth it right now, especially because the CL is not worth that much. Hopefully it appreciates. It is, I guess you could call it a rare car, considering it's one of 3,500 2003 CL Type S's made that don't have the navigation system, which the ones that have the navigation system, that is, oh my god, that's I'd throw up when I think about that. So happy I don't have one. But yeah. And now I'm going to tell you guys the story of stealing that car. How's it going? I don't really have an idea for another video, and I haven't been contacted by anybody to fix their cars, so I'm going to tell you guys a fun story that happened to me about 4 years ago, where essentially, to make it as clickbaity as possible, my friends and I broke into a dealership and stole a car. That's not at all what happened. The disclaimer I already put in the front of the video, of course, but essentially my buddy had a car that he gave to a friend, and his friend worked at a dealership. He parked the car at the dealership, and he was supposed to pay my friend. He never paid my friend, so the car was sitting there for maybe 2 years and had a bunch of tow stickers on it, was getting ready to be towed a few weeks later. It was Acura Integra LS, of course, automatic, of course. So we decided one night that we were going to go to this dealership. Now, it's just in the front parking lot. It's not like in their actual gated, locked part. It's just in the parking lot. So my buddies and I, we went over to this dealership, and we had this plan to get this car because the guy didn't pay for it, and we were going to take the motor out, sell the motor, and scrap the shell, which perfectly fine. It was my friend's car. He still had the title, and it was still in his name. So that's what we did. We drove up to the dealership in three separate cars, 4 of us. And of course, one had to drive the car, but the problem was we had to get this car started. We knew that it needed a distributor, so we took a distributor with us. We put it on there. No battery was in the car, so it was kind of sketchy. And there was a few other issues, like parts taken off of it, but nothing too important. I think the intake air temp sensor was taken out, and the map sensor was taken out. Big oof. So we plugged the hole for the intake air temp sensor and plugged the hole for the map sensor with I don't even remember what. we just balled up some tape and shoved it into the holes and hoped it would hold, and it did, luckily, and it didn't get sucked in, which would have been terrible. But yeah, we got this car running, and it was really sketchy. No license plate, no insurance. We had the title, luckily, so not too big of a deal. But the headlights didn't work, so we had to go and pull over into a fast food restaurant that was next to the dealership, and I had to wire up the freaking headlights straight to the battery just to get them to function. Luckily, we brought my car, and I had all my tools with me, so we got that going, and we drove up down the highway, bumper to bumper, one car in front, the Integra in the middle, my car behind, and my friend behind me. And we drove it to my buddy's house, and that night, actually, we pulled the motor and the transmission out of it, took the transmission off the motor, threw the transmission into the passenger seat. Fantastic. And after we did that, the next morning, we flat-towed behind another Integra. Yes, another Integra, a 5-speed GSR swap. Flat-towed the red Integra over to the junkyard after taking all the nice interior parts out and everything. We did this all through the night. We took the hatch off. We took as much as we could to resell, and then we just took the shell to the junkyard, and I think we got $250 for the shell, which was interesting because it had no motor in it. But the transmission was good, so that was already taken out, so I guess they crushed it instead of just putting it in the yard because so many parts had been taken off of it already. Luckily, they even took the car. It's mostly because we had the title. But yeah, that's the story of me stealing a car from a dealership in the middle of the night. Hope you enjoyed.